Today we're going to have a general conversation about, the circle jerks that go on within this hobby, particular with flippers, because there's a few videos that have come out recently from Neo Cards and Comics and Dustin the Sports Card Dad talking about price points for NFL cards. Obviously, we're halfway through that season, so things have started to decline, that I think are a good leaping point to talk about some of the weird things that just happen in the flipping game within this hobby, right? You've got people consistently surprised when markets tank, even though they've got all the lessons learned already from the previous seasons, right? We see the same things happen at the same times of year, every single year, where these prospects continually fail, yet people are surprised and left shortchanged because their investments didn't pan out. And I don't get it, because we see the same things every single year. And it's just one of those ones where, I'm struggling to understand it, and I want to chat with you guys down in the comments below. So this is the video over here from Neo. This is the one over here from Dustin. Both touched on, football cards. I didn't watch all of Dustin's video just yet, but I just wanted to talk about it because I needed to get it out of my head. Now, in the intro of this, Dustin referenced a pretty cool story relating to his son, so I encourage you all just to watch his video to see that part alone. Obviously, watch the whole thing, but watch that little portion there because I think it's pretty special and pretty damn cool. He also mentioned it on his Instagram, so please check it out there as well. Now, obviously, what these guys talked about was the fact that football cards have, increased ahead of the season, as they always do. And then now that we're halfway through, things have started to decline. And it's interesting sort of where the money's been spent. And I think in Dustin's video, he referenced, a few tweets where someone has done some analysis on where the money is being spent within the hobby and how it's maybe shifted over certain years. And then in Neo's video, he referenced, card ladder sales, etc. But the thing I want to sort of talk to is, why this sort of thing is just constantly surprising for me, because you sort of see this, every year. People go very heavy on prospecting, and I understand prospecting is, now an important part of this hobby, right? A lot of people do it, and I think there's probably more prospectors out there than collectors these days, which is pretty, sad to say. It used to be obviously a really small niche that would occur within card collecting, but you've got these prospectors out there, these people that are sort of looking to make money off sports cards, fall into the same traps year on year. And you watch some of these card show vlogs and you go to card shows yourself, and I sell at card shows all the time here in Australia. And it's always left me a bit surprised just seeing how people interact with each other, because you have these people looking to flip something and the person selling it is doing this weird dance where they're trying to talk up the card that they inherently know is shit, right? They're flipping it because they want to get out of it. They don't think it's going to be doing anything long term. And the person buying it knows this, but they're not acknowledging it because they want to buy it for themselves to go ahead and then do the same thing to somebody else. And it's this really weird dance, this little circle jerk that goes on where they're both lying to themselves as the deal is being done in the effort to try and make some money down the line, which is perfectly fine. But that seems to be happening, more and more. And you have people do that, and then the football season starts or the basketball season starts and things progress. And then all of a sudden, all those things they just spent all their big money on completely tank. And then they lose some money, some people make some money, and then they're all willing to go ahead and do the same thing ahead of the next season, which is just mind-boggling to me. When you look at the print runs these days that only get more and more each year, these things aren't getting smaller, they're getting bigger. When you look at these grading, activities from GemRate, where they're telling you how many cards are being graded by PSA, SGC, and the like, those things are only increasing as well. I think they've plateaued over the year. I actually think some have declined in recent months. But you're seeing like more and more volume, and it's like, well, there's more and more cards out there, more things are being made, more money is being spent, yet people are still getting burned by investing and buying into the wrong things. I don't get it. How can people be, so silly? I see it when I'm at, shows myself and the things that people are buying, and I'm, looking at this through the lens of a collector. So that's maybe where my main, what falter is here, I think is the word I want to use, like where I'm sort of letting myself down, because I'm seeing, cards that I'd want to buy, and this is a card that I've had in my PC that's actually now for sale. It's a flawless soccer card. Again, I reference that set all the time. Game use patch, on-card order, Chelsea player, played for Brazil. For me, being a fan of those teams, it's like, okay, I want to own that. And what's funny is that card's actually not that expensive. It's like a $300-400 USD card, yet there are other players in that same set that are worth a heck of a lot more that actually aren't that good, or they're only being chased because that's what, everybody else is chasing. It's just, really weird to me how you've sort of got people consistently buying into the wrong stuff. And I don't think I'm, being too sensationalist when I'm saying the wrong stuff, right? Because when you see what people prospect on and what you see people pay big money on these days, aside from, key goats like LeBron and these are the big players like Brady, etc., they're buying into the wrong stuff, in my opinion. And that is just my opinion, but I would assume most of you would agree with me. And I think when you look at, the ups and downs of these markets, I think the sales history would agree with me too. Go look at some of these, sales that, Neo referenced in his video, where you've got some of these quarterbacks that people just jump on and, just fall to shit because nobody actually wants to buy those things long term. And even if it is a good player, like a Patrick Mahomes, in terms of a card that comes out in 2024, there are so many of those things printed these days. It's like, well, are you even going to get the long-term benefit of owning that thing, right? Even if it is a good player like Patrick Mahomes for football. Like, that stuff just goes way over people's heads. These things are printed to death. Like, what do you think people are actually going to want to own long-term? And I'm, stuttering right now, so I do apologize, but it just goes to things I've touched on in the past as well. I've done a number of videos talking about, why certain sets are going to be more valuable over others. I look at the whole Panini era now that Fanatics is coming in, and Prism is probably the best one to look at, right? It's probably Panini's best set. It's the most, sought after set in terms of most collectors or the average collector within this space. Someone like LeBron, right? He has a gold Prism in every single year. There's been, 11 years of Prism now. I say the same story every single time. That is at a minimum, at least 110 out there, right? When you look at it in isolation for 1 year, it's out of 10. Okay, cool. It's a gold Prism out of 10. But over the course of Prism's lifetime, there's 110 now. It's out of 110 now. It's not out of 10. And then not to mention all the other, iterations of gold where you have the black golds, etc. So it's like, which one of those is going to be relevant long term? It's not just, 1 year anymore. It's not just out of 10. And that goes to the point that I just mentioned for Patrick Mahomes. This stuff is not small. So even when you're betting on the right things, the people that are proven, the people that have shown themselves to be culturally relevant, to be, good athletes, to be performers, in the modern hobby, those things are still not scarce enough, in my opinion, to be worth anything long term. And it's just funny how people sort of ignore that. They ignore the elephant in the room. They do this weird circle jerk and they talk up these things and they're prepared to pay thousands of dollars, if not tens, if not even more, for a modern card of somebody when you can get something, rarer, more scarce from an earlier year of the same player for a lot less money. It's just crazy how that, consistently happens. Or if that's not exactly happening, you've got people, going ahead and deciding to prospect on somebody to try and win big, but the money they're spending on the prospect is more than they can pay for the proven GOAT. It's just crazy to me. And I've talked about this a lot. I just thought, the Neo and Dustin video were good leaping points because it's just funny. Like, people make these same mistakes every year, the same time of year, every single year. People shit the bed when it comes to football. It happens when the basketball season ends too. And then all of a sudden, guess what? It picks up when the preseason starts and things get into gear for opening day. It's just wild to me. I don't get it. I don't understand how people can be that stupid. And I think a lot of the time it's because people are genuinely stupid. Some people out there are maybe chasing their tail and trying to make more money, but I think you guys get what I'm trying to say. This video ended up being 8 minutes or counting, 8 minutes and counting of, just random verbiage from me, but I needed to get this out of my head because it makes no sense. I don't get how the same story gets told every single year and people are still surprised when it's happening. And I should clarify, I'm not saying Neo and Dustin were surprised because they said the same thing themselves in their own videos and have said the same thing themselves many times if they did in fact not say it in these two videos. It's just wild. I'm lost for words. Anyway, guys, hopefully this one made sense. If it didn't, I apologize. I'm probably going to do a live stream on Saturday my time, which is going to be Friday US time. I'll probably do maybe 2 or 3 hours, hopefully. So if you have any topics you want me to talk to in that video specifically, please drop it down below. If not, we'll just keep it pretty random like I did for the live stream a week or two ago, where I basically just answered questions the whole hour and a bit that I was live for. So, I'm always open to do anything. I don't really have anything I want to specifically talk to, so I'm happy just to chat shit with you guys in the comments. But if there's anybody that wants to jump on or anything like that, let me know. I'll send the link and we can go from there. So, as always, I hope you liked the video. If you can give it a like and a comment down below, that would be really helpful. YouTube algorithm, again, has been a bit funny. Some of my videos, the last couple of actually haven't really got a whole lot of views, which is perfectly fine. I'm not complaining. But what's odd about that, when you check the analytics themselves, it's not being pushed. I don't know what the algorithm's doing in the back end. Like, YouTube is pretty funny, but your likes and your comments do help out quite a lot. So, if you want to do that, that's great. If not, that's also great. No pressure on my part. I'm happy just, making videos, talking to you guys and having a bit of fun. So, anyway, that's sort of it. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.